Welcome to this week's EMBN show, and we've got a great show lined up for you guys this week. We're taking a look at the new long-range, low-powered e-hardtail from Orbea.
Yeah, that sounds good. And of course, we've got all the news, plus we've got Where in the World and the Bike Vault, plus other regulars. Let's do it, Chris.
Let's do it.
Okay, new bike from Orbea, based out in Spain, of course, and they've got this new bike, the Urrun, which means far, and it's a hardtail 29er, looks amazing.
Yeah, and I think this bike definitely will be able to go far, as you say, rolling on 29-inch wheels. Got a 540 watt-hour internal battery on this bike with an optional 250 watt-hour extender battery, which means it's definitely capable of the mileage. And I think it's probably one of the biggest batteries that we've seen in a low-powered motored hardtail currently.
Yeah, it comes in 4 sizes, from small to XL. It's got super slick cable routing, which looks really nice, and it comes in 2 builds. The cheapest of those, the H30, comes in at £3,499.
And the range of this bike is simply mind-blowing. Orbea actually say that you can get up to 8 hours riding out of this bike without the range extender, with all 3,500 meters of climbing. So some big figures there. And obviously when you plug that range extender in, you can pretty much ride to the moon on this thing by the sounds of it.
Chris, what do you think about it being a hardtail? Like, what's your thoughts on hardtail e-bikes? Have you got an opinion on that?
I'm quite into it. I think definitely as an entry point to e-bike, and obviously you get quite a good value, value for your money on these. And I think for the majority of trails and using the bike as kind of a bit of a Swiss Army knife, like this bike is intended for the market as, it could be a bike that you commute, or you take your kids, out on weekends, or go and check the trails out as well. It's a bit of an all-rounder, kind of like a bit of an SUV. So I think for £3,500, it's a pretty attractive package, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love a hardtail out on the trail itself. It's got a very distinct way of riding, but it's something I always enjoyed, the hardtail. I always thought it rode well, and I always thought it made you a better rider too.
I think
so there are some disadvantages, obviously, but maybe some advantages too.
Yeah, definitely. But for that money, I think the range that's possible on this bike, simply mind-blowing. And if you want a hardtail that's going to do it all, definitely check this one out.
Now, in other news, we've got this new muck-off tubeless AirTag holder. What do you think of this, Chris?
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's really stealthy. They obviously do offer an AirTag holder which goes underneath the bottle cage on your bike, which isn't that, not a lot of e-bikes necessarily have a bottle cage for starters, but even if they do, that is quite visible for a thief, you're going to be able to see it. But this one that's hidden in the tyre itself, going to be a bit more stealth, isn't it? I think for sure.
It really is. The one thing I do worry about this is that what happens when you're unfortunate enough to get a puncture, or you rip the side of your tubeless tyre. Is it still going to be rideable once you've done that? Like, are you going to be damaging the valve pushing down through the frame because now you've got this plug on the end?
It actually sits in its own capsule, so it's protected from the tubeless sealant itself, and it says it's protected from impact. So it's going to be pretty good. And I think for £15, having a tracker on your bike, this could definitely be the way forward.
Now, Chris, I am loving this. It's a brand new e-bike from TM, old school motocross brand, and this bike is nearly motocross itself. It is big, travels, got some very respectable products on it though. Olin suspension looking lovely, Renful. It's a nice looking bike.
It is called the Sinfonia RR, so a bit of a funky name, but it's got a nod to the traditional TM colour, and it's got that baby blue back end on there. Big gravity style bike, dual crown fork up front, 29-inch wheels, which is a bit different for a gravity style bike. Bosch Gen 4 motor on there, 625 watt-hour battery, coming in medium and large only at the minute. And what we're talking money for this one?
Price-wise, you're looking at £8,495, which is quite a bit of money, but it's quite a bit of bike. Spada clothing, Chris.
So that's another brand which has a lot of motorbike history, and they've just crossed over to the mountain bike kit as well. And some of this kit looks bang on for the e-mountain bike. Got a range of kit from helmets, gloves, jackets, you name it. Helmet's looking pretty good, $79.99. It's got a MIPS unit on there. All the other tech features that you're going to see in those bigger names. But I mean, if you want some cheap kit, I think this is a brand to be checking out. I mean, pretty much got everything, right?
And I tell you what I really like about it. I mean, they're just calling it blue, but I think they've missed a trick here. I think their trousers look like a sort of denim effect.
Yeah.
So if you want to go out riding in your jeans, but you've got to be riding mountain bike clothing, this is the kit for you. Love it.
Nice.
Global Bike Festival's getting closer and closer, Chris, and I couldn't be more excited about it. It's going to be so good. We're all going to be there, of course, but we've got Chris Ackrig there as well. Tom Cardy's going to be there. Kona have just come on board as a brand partner for the event, so they're going to have all their ambassadors and riders there and bikes there to test. I mean,
amazing,
all the DJs. You know, the only DJ who's not going, Doddy.
DJ Dodstar.
No, they're on the dirt shed earlier on. What a shame. But I cannot wait. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be so good. And a great way of supporting us here on the channel is to get into the merch shop. We've got loads of kit in there as well. We've got all the fancy new t-shirts, got new hats, jerseys, jackets, you name it, it's in the shop. So be sure to get in there and check it out.
Absolutely. And if you want to get a ticket to that Global Bike Festival, then head over to globalbikefestival.com and get your ticket because they are running out.
Right, it's time for all the comments from the recent videos we've done here on EMBN, and this is a bit of feedback from last week's show where we looked, has innovation gone too far? Where we took a look at three-wheel e-trikes and a petrol-powered generator backpack.
Wait a minute, what's your problem with free-wheeled e-trikes?
Well, these were a bit different. These were for able-bodied people.
Oh, weirdos. Weirdos. Right, let's take a look at these comments then. Dave C, he says, petrol generator is a great idea. 2 petrol tanks on panniers and we can go into the wild off-grid for weeks. Blimey.
Could be a good way of doing it, couldn't it?
Could be.
Generator buzzing away. I've got one here from Ron Back saying, love that trike with the plus size tyres for flotation and grip in the desert. That's something I didn't really think about. Obviously riding a trike, you've got that increased tyre footprint and of course 3 wheels to give you that bit more stability. So yeah, it could be the one for on sand and snow.
3 wheels is a winner, man. Rory Powell, he says, instead of the generator, why not just bring a spare battery with you? Simple, but concise. Definitely. That is the solution.
They wouldn't get such a great workout, you know, carrying that 2.5 kilo battery on your backpack as you would carrying that 13.5 kilo generator, would you? So
no.
Maybe that's a downside too.
I don't know if I call it a downside. Tech of the week, Chris. I absolutely love this. Specialized Turbo Levo. It's from E2. And he has done an amazing job of this, and I think it really brings out something special on the frame.
Definitely
because he's gone down to this raw finish, but I just think that all that metalwork surrounding the motor gives you an idea of the construction of the frame, and it really, it looks beefy. Doesn't it look good?
And he's gone down the full custom route with the setup as well. Got some Chris King wheels on there, Bergtech bar stem, Hope bling on there as well. I mean, it's absolutely loaded, isn't it? And I think with that finish of all those custom parts on there, that's got to be one of the nicest e-bikes we've seen here on EMBN for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of man hours gone into making that raw, stripping it back like that.
Hundreds of man hours, he says. Truly is dream bike in the end. I think fair play for going, you know, full on that and creating a raw bike. Great stuff, and we love to see all your bikes here on EMBN, so make sure you use the upload service to get all your pictures and videos, and that's up on screen now. Could be you, maybe starring in next week's show. Right, it's time to go out and about to see where you guys and girls have been riding this week. What have we got, Matt?
First one is from Brian on his Levo Expert, and he's in Comrie Croft. Nice. Lovely looking day. He's having a fantastic day. A little bit of a drop off.
Says he seems to do the pufferfish cheeks every time when he hits a drop. We all do that one, don't we? Or the cat's bum like that.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Great looking shot that.
Yeah, definitely.
Next up we got Jean Leon here in Finale Laguerre, out Father and Sunday from Belgium, spending a few days high up in the hills. Looking good there, loving those shades with the full face helmet.
Yeah, spectacular location. Yeah, and do you think they're fans of KTMs?
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah, they could be.
KTMs, nice looking shot.
Next up, we've got a little group ride going on here. This is Bruno and friends in Zermatt.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Oh, don't we?
No. Carry on.
He is out on his Husqvarna there in a very bright O'Neill get-up. And it looks like a good day out. It looks like they've just made it to the top of a very big climb. 3
different bikes and 3 different ages. So we've got from 70 years old to 33 years old. So it's just great how e-bikes bring everyone together, isn't it? That's amazing.
That is true. That is true. And the age range, I hadn't noticed that there.
That's good, isn't it? We've got Darren here with his Vitus E-Escape out in Crossili in the Gower.
Oh, yeah, I know it well. I know it well. It looks like a beautiful day, but I tell you what, don't be fooled by that sunlight, Chris. That could be absolutely Baltic in that photo. Yeah, but well done, Darren. Looks like you've made the best of a nice, bright day.
Definitely. And the last bike we've got here in Where in the World is from Grady. He's got a Merida E160 out in Nelson, New Zealand. Afternoon ride on a Friday after a long week of work, and I can't imagine having those trails at your disposal on a Friday afternoon.
Look at the elevation
Crazy,
of that bit of riding. Absolutely amazing.
Nice.
I'd like to go there, Chris.
Yeah, don't forget to keep sending those entries in. Love seeing where you've been riding all over the world.
It's time for the EMBN bike room.
Bike room. It's a bike vault, Mark. Come on.
Yeah, it is the bike vault, and we're going to take a look at your bike, starting off with this one from author Hello. This is Hello.
Oh, hello.
It is the biggest down tube in history. It's a Santa Cruz Bullet. Lovely colourway, though. I like the colourway.
Deep.
What are you thinking on this one, Chris?
Non-drive side.
Shame.
Which is a shame for you, isn't it? But it's a good-looking bike. It looks like a good riding spot as well.
Super nice for me.
Super nice. Oh, you're a kind
nice.
man. Really nice.
Nice.
Right, next up, we got this in from Nick. It's got a Focus Jam Squared 6.8 out in Clumber Park in Nottinghamshire. Cracking day out, big ride, raising some money for charity, and would like to see that bike a little bit more out of the shadows, but because you're doing it for charity, it's got to be a super nice ride.
No, not really, because I gave the last bike a super nice. When now I've thought about it, I shouldn't have really, so I'm taking it away from this guy. It's nice.
Oh, harsh. How about this from Thierry? He's got a Specialized Canevo out in Madeira in Portugal. Built a new line of jumps in a day. Look, got some jump action going on. Got the full face on the ground. What are you thinking, Mark?
Terrible way to treat a helmet. It's nice. Next.
Got Leroy. Got Giant Rain E+1 out in Capel Curig in North Wales. Out with Todd, covering 50k unmarked trails in Snowdonia National Park.
Nice, what do you think? Nice.
It's got to be super nice. It looks, that's what e-bikes are for, isn't it? Exploring, getting out there, and I mean, look at that backdrop.
Oh, I guess you're the boss. What are you going with? Super nice.
Super nice.
Super nice. All right.
Moving on, we got this strong entry in from Craig. He's out in Western Australia. Got a 2021 Focus Jam Squared again. Got a little tired of the bland green, so he's decided to spruce it up with some different components and some vinyl offcuts on the graphics.
Yeah, it's almost Repsol Honda-esque, that is. Yeah, that's a super nice. And next, Flavio. I'd like to think it's Flavio from Strictly Come Dancing and his Specialized Canevo in the Vale de Varadi in Petropolis, Rio de Janeiro. Petropolis, yeah.
Pronunciation.
It's a pretty cool looking location, Chris, but I think we've got to focus in on the bike, which is quite stealthy. It's quite stealthy.
Yeah, isn't it? Got a big ridgeline ahead of him there. I hope you're going up that after your rocky experience.
Let's say he is, Chris. Let's say he is, and he gets a super nice for it.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Go on.
Next up, we've got Spencer. He's got a 2019 Bulls E-Stream with Bros Mag motor on there out in Utah, St. George. Close to the Rampage site out there. Bike can do it all, he says. It's
It was all going well for me until they called the bike Bulls. And then I was just like, nice.
I think it's a good looking bike. I think that's got to be a nice from me. And I think we've got the last bike in the bike vault. And
Wait a second, did you just say the last bike was a good looking bike?
I said it's a nice looking bike.
Okay,
Nice.
it's nice looking bike. All right.
What do you think to this then? A bit of a retro cruiser going on.
Well, after your last comment, I feel like we can't really listen to you. So next, it's from Johnny, and it is a 1951 Mod Trig from Lillehammer in Norway. Is that an e-bike?
It is, yes. He's modified the frame on this. It's got a bit like a cafe racer kind of old school cruiser frame.
Look at the motor mount. That is amazing.
I think it's really cool. Actually, it's got a Sturmey Archer 3-speed drum, hub, and gear on it, which now really works perfectly. He's done 1,600k on this bike, and it all works perfectly. So
it's a super nice.
Saddle as well.
I think it's super nice, and it's rad looking. And I feel like I should also go back and apologise. I actually do like bulls. There we go. That's the bike vault. It's always a lot of fun. And of course, our judgments on your bikes mean absolutely nothing. Right. But if you would like to get your bike on the bike vault, then send it in to the EMBN uploader. The link is in the description down below. It's a great way to get involved in the show, and we have a bit of fun with it.
Definitely, and let us know what you think about those long-range, low-cost new hardtail from Orbea. Could it be the way forward for those bikes? Let us know, hardtail or full suspension. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to us here on EMBN, and we hope to see you at the festival. Get those tickets down in the description down below. We shall see you next week.